You've had the sad news. Your reaction?
Sanibonani baba, kubuhlungu kakhulu nami ngicela ukuvuka about 2 hours ago and I hear of the sad news. I've had an opportunity to work with Linda Mkhize for a few years. He was signed to our label TS Records. We made music together. We traveled the country together. I saw him help his friends. They became business people selling his merchandise. He entertained people. He got a lot of people out of poverty, helping them to work with him, building a Donkey Sun brand, which was a youth culture, street culture brand. He shifted culture. He inspired people. He encouraged people through his music. He was a humble brother. He was extremely talented, whom the entire hip-hop community still says he remains South Africa's -- lyricist of all time. And I agree with them. His mother, and I just pray for his family. It's quite sad news, Putam.
Yeah, earlier I spoke to Slicker, and he told us that in his view, ProKid was like a pioneer of his time in the kind of influence and the impact he had on the genre of music that he led.
Yes, sir, because with hip-hop music, you can say so much in just a 3-minute song, because these brothers and sisters they're basically in literature. They're in the business of literature because they play with words. And the meaning of those words are rhyming with the music. And then it gets embedded in the hearts or in the minds of the audiences. Now, Pro grew up with his audience. His audience has grown now. People are running companies. People are fathers and mothers. They've got kids. And till today, his music touches them. You know, for me, he played a very big role. He was definitely a pioneer. He goes down in the South African music history as one of the greats to ever do it, because we do know that hip-hop has been growing steadily over the past couple of years. I think it's at its peak right now, but people like him contributed in the youth culture in the country, shifting youth culture. But what I loved about Pro as well was the subject matter in his music. His music was encouraging. You know, some of his rhymes are now used by corporate companies. Play. We familiarize all those phrases, and how he had a business model to sell his own merchandise while he was at the top of his music career. A lot of artists, you know, learned from him, and they're continuing with those models today, and they're successful. My heart goes out to his kids, to his daughter, to his family, his close friends, and the team that he was working with currently. I've had great times with him. I till today I can never forget the memories that we've had together.
How do you want South Africans? How do you think we as South Africans should remember him and honor his memory?
I think we must honor him through the type of music that he made. He wasn't making any violent music. He was a street ghetto poet. I think we should honor him the best way we can in recognizing him as one of the best lyricists this country has ever had. And just remembering the positive part he played through his music, and bring up men and women who are in corporate corridors right now as we speak, who are running their own companies, who are running their own households, who are now parents. I think he contributed in that culture. I was one of the people he inspired, although I was working close to him, just because of how humble he was outside of the stage.
Thank you very much, DJ Sbu. Our condolences to you and your fellow musicians, and of course the fraternity of hip-hop in South Africa. That's the DJ Sbu reflecting on the life and the influence of ProKid Linda Mkhize, a rapper whom we understand died last night at the age of 37 after a seizure.